I do have the chat going. So I had some problems today, April Fool's Day, hooray. The camera wouldn't focus. But I decided to, let's see here, am I on the vMix? Wow. The computer's talking to me. It is April Fool's Day. So the camera, I ended up rebooting it because it would not focus. It was like I'm hitting the autofocus button, nothing happening. And I thought maybe I'm recording. I don't know if you can. I think you can hit focus on this one when you're recording. Some of them you can't, like an autofocus thing. Anyway, so I was getting excited about I'm doing Marvel United today. I'm going to be working on Immortus from Marvel United Multiverse. That's my first. I completed the full phase 1 personally. I still have more to paint, and I was working on. I was hopeful, so I thought, well, let me just start with the main box. I was hoping it would have some of the translucent plastic. So there's some in X-Men. There's a lot in Multiverse, and I wanted to paint them and see what it would be like. You know, if I'm going to continue with the translucent thing and using translucent paints, maybe like. I don't know. I mean, I have to make some decisions. It would be awesome if you could illuminate it, you know, with LEDs and stuff. Too much work. Anyway, additionally, all those parts are glued on. So you can, I mean, the only one I think, I don't know which character it was, but like you could take his dome off. None of the other ones allow you to do that. And I understand partly because, you know, they're selling this as a game ready to go with just colored pieces, you know. Anyway, so I was going through, we had to sort everything because we had shipped them. So I've been painting my friends and mine, and then I added Scott's because he wasn't doing it, you know, Aldi BG. And so we shipped them all to us after Thanksgiving. And so I'm definitely behind. I still have to do the main box. I think a good chunk of the stretch goals box. I think he did almost all of the other game boxes. So that's Scott's stuff. And then I have most of the stretch goals done, and a few of the main, you know, each of the game boxes I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 of them. I don't remember. So I have a few of those too, and that's not that many. That's probably 18 or 20 for the other batch. I was really hoping to be done in 2 weeks' time, but there's no way I'm going to make it. But I really do want to do the translucent. Well, I'll open the main box, no translucent minis. So I've already committed because I think we want to try to do this on the show. Hey, Scott, I want to do it on the show, but who knows? But I am excited about these new minis. I don't know. Let me cut to the other camera. I don't know for sure that they are. Gosh darn it! I have like another camera another display to actually do the stuff on here. Too many tabs. Can I close something here? Yeah, let's do that. There we go. So let me get to that. Cut. So this is Immortus. I airbrushed all of them yesterday. I was trying to get through all of them. You know, I wanted to get to start these, and I worked on it. So you can, as you see, I normally do a little bit of extra white on their faces. I'm not certain that these are white enough. I also don't love to do. Oops, dropping things. Too much white. Although I will tell you, Scott's minis that I have done. Let me just show you one. That were rattle can primed, have turned out pretty great. So I don't know that, I mean, I'm not going to spray them completely white. It's just, it is what I've been doing, but this one looks pretty good. Mantis. And, you know, I had to do some work on her face to get it, let me change glasses here. I need some readers to see these faces. I mean, these are pretty big, but to really see it clear, I need readers. Yeah, I had to paint her face white. Because the rattle can, it just doesn't do that great a job on that stuff, but the rest of it is literally, I think, I might have done a little bit airbrush retouching on this one, but I don't think so, maybe. But she looks great. I mean, they look really good. You can totally get great results going with the rattle can method. The issue is, at least in this case, so we had these shipped to us. They are more fragile. Like the paint, for whatever reason, because it is, I think I saw the cans of paint when I was just at Scott's last week, and they're made for plastic. Now it is like Rust-Oleum or Krylon or something, but this one, like, I had to touch it up, and I put a lot of coats of varnish on him to hopefully protect it, and then I'll put it in, you know, because handling it should be okay, as long as you don't have too big of nails chipping into it. But he turned out, you know, this turned out great too. I had to paint this head as well white, and I think I airbrushed him. I don't think I hand painted it, although I did some. I mean, this, I don't remember her name, Morningstar or something. She looks pretty good too. You know, oops, blown out. Actually, the one that I thought was really great looking was She-Hulk. I mean, so you can get great results. I mean, you can see the shading, but I would never use rattle can. It's just, my problem is that it does obscure detail. So anyway, we're now going to this. We're going to do everything. They're all going to be roughly similar. Yeah, I think I added white to paint the faces, right? Yeah. 5 o'clock shadow, absolutely. That was my thing. Angels with dirty faces, what I say. They definitely don't quite work out. So I did put a little extra effort into this, painting them white, as you can see, just on their faces. He's got a lot of purple on him, Immortus, and green. I hope that it's bright enough. I mean, I did some highlighting on these ridges and stuff like that. I really, really like the sculpts, and I think that they are potentially, the plastic seems better than it used to be. I cleaned all of these pretty well. I still miss things, you know, I mean, but I was trying to do a decent job. But I will tell you this, not as many mold lines. Now, some of them are present. Let's see if I have one that I painted. I do not know who he is. Huge guy, seems bigger than Hulk. I had some mold lines here. You can see it on the arm here. But I feel they look great. Like, this is not a ton of cleanup. Like his head, usually there's like a big line across the dome of their head. There's a little bit, but it's pretty minor league. And so hopefully, you know, I try to catch it all, like I said, but it is, I'm not going to go over there. I'll yank this cord, my headphone cord. But I mean, you know, Squirrel Girl, this is from the first wave. Looks pretty good too, but I think the plastic is softer. I know they changed it. Also, this is one that we had to resculpt her ear. Like, so on Scott's and mine, the ear snapped off. And I didn't even see the piece. Now, Scott's was not in the box anymore, but I faintly remember looking at it when I put it in the box. So it could be still in the main box in there somewhere, because it was, all of these were kind of semi-loosely packed and it wasn't great. But I think I did a pretty good job on it. But yeah, the other one didn't, but mine was broken inside the tray. Scott's got broken on the way here. And the ones that my friend sent me, they were all wrapped. Every single one of them was wrapped separately, which helps a lot. But yeah, they look great. And this one, I mean, they're huge. Let's see. Well, Squirrel Girl's not that much smaller. So maybe, but I feel like there's, let's see, here's some of the other ones that have not been cleaned yet. Look how massive this guy is. But it looks fantastic. Now this one has a little bit more issues with mold lines than the other one I was looking at, but it's not bad. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe these are all from the initial run. You know, we all backed the Kickstarter, so maybe the molds were at their best. There's a little bit of flashing there. I'll get that cleaned up. But yeah, look how massive, it's Dr. Doom, right? I mean, what's the other guy's name? Anyway, it looks fantastic. Now there's mold lines. They do a good job of concealing it, but I will still try to clean that up a little bit. Some of the interesting thing now is I'm looking at 3 of them at the same time. And what was the one? Maybe it was this one. No, it's not this one. There's one where their hand is close to something, and it was different on each miniature. So, you know, obviously they're gluing pieces together, but it was kind of like weird. But understandably, it's, you know, they're doing thousands of minis, and not everybody's building them, and they're just trying, they're probably keyed, you know, they probably have a bit of a keying. So Scott did send home, we sent it home because I said I'd try to paint it. Terrible part is I don't know how I'm going to get it back home to him. But he sent me the Marvel Zombies Galactus, which is massive, just massive. But we took it out of the box on Friday, and so it'd been, I think it got to us on like, not too long after we got home. And I can't even get it together. So I think that I did a better job on the Cthulhu from Death May Die, Cthulhu Death May Die. But I'm going to have to do a ton of work to just get the pieces to seat together. Now, the cool thing is they give you a standard version, so I guess the standard villain version, and then the zombified one. So mostly the model's identical, except he has a different arm with damage, and then a face that's damaged, you know, like a skeletal type of face. So I'm eager to paint them, and I'm going to do both of them, and I'm going to try to make it so that you can easily swap the pieces out, but holy cow, it's going to be a challenge. But it looks great. It's huge. We're going to try to paint it up and put it in the background for a while, but I know Rob Oren on Painted Scots. We have it at the BGG, the Cthulhu from Cthulhu Death May Die. That one was he used other kinds of paints, I think, maybe some. I don't feel like when you airbrush it, like I don't know. I've been going through my paints. So the biggest challenge I found lately is this one. You can see it settles right every time. And this one I've been using a lot. So it's still over half full, but the bottle, paint dries inside the bottle, just no matter what you can do. It's not like this super moist environment, even though it is wet, right? But like when it's sitting on its end, as you use more paint, there's more open space, and it dries. And I have had troubles airbrushing. So I'm going to try. I was actually just reading some posts about what you do to filter your paints. Somebody had like tobacco, like for pipes, filters that are metal mesh. So I mean, I don't need like 80 of them, which is what it's going to be. But because you can clean them, right? Alcohol will clean, because they're metal mesh. But it seems like it would probably get the largest chunks. But the reality is, even tiny chunks are an issue. So I'm not sure. You know, somebody was talking about, I'm not going to use lacquer paints. I don't even know if they'd work on these plastics. But I'm not sure like what level of thinning you could do. So if you were using lacquers, and you can for certain projects, of course, but if you're going to use them on minis, hey Amanda, hey, we get to see you tomorrow. The lacquer will dissolve the paint. Acrylic, water does not dissolve the paint. It doesn't. It's not a solvent. You can clean with acrylic, but once the resin dries, there's no breaking it down. I mean, you probably could with lots of agitation, but if alcohol will absolutely thin it down, but I'm obviously not going to put alcohol into the paint because it'll mess it up. But and thinners are not, airbrush thinners are not alcohol, I don't think. I know they're kind of soapy scented, but it's not great. I was having some issues with it, and I just had to like clean things and so I painted. How many did I do? 6. I cleaned up 18 minis, I think. So I sprayed like 8 of them. I didn't finish, like this guy is not done. I did not do the white, but one of them did get some white before I ran out of paint. And I was like, enough, I'll do them later. Wow, I'm so many notes about these t-shirts. Anyway, so we're just, I'm gonna paint his face first. Let me actually pull up the picture. I have my, well, I'm excited because I'm gonna be going into a different folder. Where is that at? I have too many windows open for this stuff. I'm not a Mac person. I just don't get it. Really what they should be is in one window, multiple tabs. I have friends that have like hundreds of tabs open. Wow, there's lots of buzz. Should have muted it. But yeah, I'm excited. I have not been, wow, where is it? Oh, there we go. I've been in the main folder of this the whole time, so I'm now in Multiverse. So let's look up Immortus here. These are not alphabetized. I'm having the weirdest issues with this stuff on, maybe it's by time, on Google Drive. I just have them on Google Drive, so any model that any computer I'm on, I can open up and see. That's pretty cool. The one the guy painted on Reddit was, the stones were really black. I think they should be gray like this. So yeah, I'm excited to actually paint him, and it's huge. I mean, relatively. This guy's big too. I feel like Hulk is one of the largest ones. Let's compare Hulk. I do have him out. That first wave was very different. The chibis are fun though. So yeah, look. They could be size-wise similar. They kind of look like they are. But he just seemed so huge when I was cleaning him up the other day. Anyway, I think I feel like there's a bunch of, are those arrows? I mean, I see like pieces from, like there's Mjolnir maybe, and those are maybe the arrows. And there's like a Spider-Man mask, I don't know. And then that's like Mighty Thor piece on there, so it's fun. Some of these are pretty great. I don't know what this one is. Is this Iron Man or something, or I don't know. But it's fun. I was looking at it as I was airbrushing, going, hey, that looks like that's Mjolnir. Anyway, so let's get the paint together. I'm really impressed by these faces, though. This was the one that was like, oh, these look like they're pretty good. Wish that these brushes are too shiny. I changed the camera around a little bit the other day, and I'm not sure that it's going to work out. Well, it should work out. I just need to shift things. These shiny things don't help, though. I also have a ton of paints, miniatures over on the side, like, because I was making a mess. You can see like all the little bits of white plastic here, or plastic, not necessarily white, because it was blue and pink. And there was like a deeper purple one, two purples actually. The regular one, and then there's two minis in, I think, the X-Men set that are reddish purple, very dark. Anywho, these faces look pretty great. I see that I cleaned the mold line there, but it's still there. And there's a little bit there where I didn't do such a great job cleaning that. Anyway, it's hard to see them. You really see all the problems once you prime it. Then you're like, oh, oof. So I use the Guilliman Flesh. I haven't used, there's many more flesh colors in the speed paints, which I have some, like I have this one, Peachy Flesh. But I like the Guilliman Flesh. It is like I was so disappointed with this color when I first got it. And now that I know, years ago now, because it's been 5 years or more since I figured it out. I can't remember whether it was before or after the pandemic started. Had to have been, maybe it was after. Because I was able to go to a store and I think, look at the display. I'm not sure though. I feel like that's, maybe not. Maybe it was before the pandemic. Because these paints came out in 2019, and I remember like being very excited about them because I read about them, and what am I running into here? I read about them and knew exactly what they were doing. There have been some other paints kind of like that over in time before this, but not really. They had some crazy formulation going on where I think some of the pigments are heavier than the others, and it varies by paint. Some of these paints have just a single pigment. So it's essentially, you know, like one of my favorite colors in this set is Ball Red, and it is, I think this was from the second phase. I feel like it was. I know it was because I was dissatisfied. I didn't hate the reds that they had. They had Flesh Tears and Blood Angels. They're both pretty good, and when you use the contrast medium, they turned out okay. But this is just straight red, and it's pretty amazing looking. I painted Daredevil with it. Let's see, I got him right here, I think. This was Scott's, that was the Rattle Can one, but he turned out great, and I really like that red. Okay. So yeah, it won't take a lot of paint. Clearly, there's not a lot of face here to paint, but I'm going to do all of them. I'm going to try to. We'll see how this goes. Again, I know for me, it's a great experiment to paint them all and try to get them the same. I am not that good of a painter. I never have been. In college, painted 2 projects where I wanted to. I finished one and never finished the second one, and it was one that I was airbrushing. So it was like, I think that was the goal, that I was trying to do to see if I could get airbrushed. I mean, there's no way you're going to get it, well, I don't know. You could probably do it pretty good if you're a established miniature painter, you know, like that you've got the skills. You could probably pull it off. But, ooh, I don't want that in the shot. But this is my little, somebody recommended I tape, I used a paper clip to get into the bottles, but I lost the paper clip that I had. In case, so there's the one thing I was reading, somebody had an issue with this the other day. I believe on Reddit I read about it. They were talking about they were having clogs in their bottles. This is part of why I was looking at the filtering thing, because of my issue. That, as a matter of fact, is exactly what it was. I was reading about their filtering and having problems where they clogged the bottle. And somebody's like, oh, those paints are terrible. I'm like, I don't think it's the paints. I think any paint, like if you open a can of paint that you opened, like house paint, and once you shake it all up, it'll be pretty consistent. But the problem is the rest of the can, that there was any paint on there, unless it dripped down before it dried, it's going to have a film. And you have problems with that, where it's not a big issue, obviously, if you're just, painting by hand. I mean, it isn't great. I've had some issues where bits of stuff have come on, gotten on the Mini, and like trying to clean it off, you know, it's not fantastic. Wow, it seems like it's really blown out. Too bright, and it feels like not bright enough. That's what's hilarious. I looked at, so the last batch I painted, like I've got, like, because I'm trying to catch up on it, I've got Scott's, they're all too far away. I got Scott's, what is his name? I can't try to call him Mr. Big. Kingpin. And I wanted it to be white because I want to use the undercoat generally as the main color. I didn't paint Shuri Black Panther completely yet because I have feeling I want to try to do that on that one as well. I feel like when I use the blacks, so I love these blacks. These are the both of them are really fantastic. These are the Citadel contrast. So Black Templar was the original, and then in the second wave they have Black Legion. I'm not, honestly, I feel one is bluer than the other. One is browner, one is bluer, but I couldn't even tell you because I feel like every time I look, I'm like, oh, well, that one's clearly the one. I'm like, oh, no, it's not. So I don't know if it's just my eyes or whatever, but but I was saying about this, you should poke the bottles. So I have a bottle of the speed paint medium for Army Painter, and this stuff dries ridiculously fast. And in between me using it, I end up just, look at this. This is how much is in here. And I was kind of unaware. I feel like it was the same painting session, and I was unaware of this at that point. Like, I mean, that bottle, that's on there. I don't know what is going on, but anyway, I think what it does is keeps leaking, and then there's like probably some sort of a gap where some of it gets out or air gets in. But anyway, I was trying to get this out into the palette, and I pressed. It wasn't coming out immediately. And I got to tell you, do not do that. These bottles are not designed for that. These, the dropper top comes out pretty darn easily. I mean, this one's really, I mean, there's just tons of dried medium here. It's crazy. And look how easy this comes out. It just comes right out. It's not great. I'm not sure. I don't understand what they've got going on. I feel like Vallejo has it better figured out. This is the newer bottles from them. I like their bottles a lot. I like the clear, as you can see right here, they're clear. They're the clearest bottles I've seen outside of glass bottles, so they're really phenomenal. I wish you could buy them easily. Let's see how this one is. No, this isn't great either. These come out too easily in my opinion. So you never want to squeeze them. Thankfully it was medium, so it destroyed the paint I was working, well, not destroyed it, but it thinned it too much. And it basically was a whole bunch of the medium, like through this whole channel. So I wasted half a bottle of it. And that's not really a big deal. I mean, yeah, you don't want to waste any paint if you can help it. Man, there's just layers and layers of the medium coming off. But, oh, I'm not going to use this medium. But that was the idea about this. I will probably be using some paints, and that's why I pulled it out. But they suggested I tape it to the handle. And I have these little handles that came in these paints that were to protect the bristles. So let's see here. How does this compare? Yeah, you see how this is longer than the brush. They were bundled together, and they were designed to protect the bristles of these inexpensive paint brushes, which I really love. And so I just used a pin vise and drilled into it, and then stuck it into, glued it into the thing so that I don't lose it. It's much clearer here, and it's worth having. Anyway, let's get back to the real stuff here. I do need medium for this because I start with the medium first. I'm pretty much almost done with my second bottle of medium, but this is my second bottle of medium in 6 years, or no, let's say 4.5 years, or 5.5 years, right? Because I got a bunch of these. I'm pretty sure I bought this right off the bat, which is pretty amazing. You know, I use a lot of medium, way more than most paints. I was actually looking at the Gilliman Flesh. I mean, whether it was truly full, it's about half a bottle still, and I use the Flesh a lot. The Flesh. The other one I was using a lot, I ended up using this again the other day. This is like 2/3 used. This is one of my favorite colors, Athematic Blue. I used it on the skin of Rhino. It is what I think I'd done on the original paint job that I did. Now this is Scott's primered one, rattle can, and then this is the one that was airbrushed. Different time because I had, now I touched this one up, but I didn't do that great of a job on the face, so I painted it white before I painted it recently, and it turned out great. You don't have to, as long as you thin your whites quite a bit and just do layers, you won't have too much brush buildup, you know, like brush strokes. The issue is, again, it loses detail. Like, I don't know if you can see it, but the right-hand one is definitely cleaner. The teeth are like a little better. Again, it's not terrible. You could totally get by with the rattle can and have satisfactory results, period. I mean, I feel some of the latest ones I painted have been my favorite, have been the rattle can ones. I just will never use it. I can't, I have some stuff that, I have the new white that Games Workshop did 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, in that second wave. And it's this like a straight white. It's called White Scar. I haven't used it yet. I don't love using rattle can paints. I want to use it. I did it when I think I bought Gray Sear undercoating, which is one of the ones they recommended when the contract. Wow, that's too much of that stuff. Let me put some back in. In the first wave of contrast paints, they recommended Gray Sear or Wraithbone as your undercoating. Maybe because they didn't have a good white at that time. I don't know. The new one seems good. I've seen other people use it. I have not used it yet. But I really like that Gray Sear. I thought it looked some of the best rattle can paint I'd ever seen. Now, you're going to pay $20 a bottle for that stuff, at least. There are some Color Forge has new paints that are meant to color-wise match GW stuff, and they are now distributed in the United States by Monument Hobby, so you can now get them, which is great, because when they did a Kickstarter for that stuff, there was lots of great colors, but it wasn't, they weren't shipping to the United States, which totally I can understand. That's got to be expensive. I imagine, I mean, you know, to individuals. If you're sending it to a distributor, different story. I was actually looking for, so I used, wow, maybe that isn't enough. I used this rust paint that Sebastian had in Germany, and I tried to find an equivalent, and I bought what I thought was an equivalent. It is not as good. I believe it was a Rust-Oleum, and it's fine. It worked. I painted some Gaslands. I still want to try to do Gaslands. Maybe now that Aaron is kind of more free, we can do it. And it was not the same at all. It was, that other stuff legitimately looked like rust. And I was sad. I looked it up. It was a brand that is in the United States. I can't remember now. I probably have a picture of the can somewhere. And they never made it here, that type. And it might even just be, you know, like a brand that was international and it's now a completely different branch, you know, like a different company. I feel like it was Rust-Oleum, but I don't think it was that. It might have been. But I absolutely knew the company. Okay, so let's see here. This should be, I generally paint faces first. I don't always. And usually I regret it when I don't, so I'm going to do it today. I feel like whatever the reason is, I feel like I'm a little bit more delicate when it comes to then painting the stuff around it. Like, I know that I have that, I can easily, well, in quotation marks, easily get that little bit of paint here on the inside edge. Now, Rhino did not get that, so you'll see here, this one's just rough. This one here, I think that other one looks great though. But this one here, there was too much white. Like it was not, the color didn't get really on there. So I end up using some flesh tone wash that I had to just frame that. And it looks better anyway. You want it to, you know, I mean, we're shooting for reality here. These are comic book minis. But let's see what we got here. Let me actually look and see what it looks like. It's probably thin enough. His skin looks kind of dark on this. I know nothing about Immortus, but I do like the look of the mini. Oh, there's some stuff right there. Wonder if that's from me cleaning it. It does seem like the white balance is off here on this camera. Let's hope it'll be okay. I never change anything on these settings, so it should be okay. And the light is the same, although temperatures could change. I mean, these are all LED lights above me. The whole studio is out now LEDs. We used to have fluorescents, actually for the lighting itself, with huge, compact fluorescent style bulbs where they're the spirals, but they were giant. But they got hot, and they actually got hot enough to kind of destroy the umbrellas. So we switched to these pancake ones that Scott found during the pandemic. I think just before Spiel, we decided to switch out our lighting. So Spiel 2020, that was an online stream. and they're great. We had one problem with one where it wouldn't shut off. You know, you use the remote to shut them off and turn them on. This one stopped working, the radio or whatever stopped working on it. So I ended up having to, we were shooting that day and we were thinking like, oh, it'll be fine, you know, and you look at it, it's way too dark. So it's like, okay. I mean, I ordered a replacement that day, but I was able to take it apart, the one to take it apart and basically take out the whole switch so that it would be on, because that's what actually happened. So I forgot about that. We were filming with Mike and we were all excited we were done for the day and we were exciting, and Mike was trying to help, and he's taller than me by about an inch and a half, and turned the light off for us, which was great. The problem is we never turn those off by switch. And so I think the switch had like fused, and so it broke it. That's why we couldn't turn it back on. And we could never turn that one. Of course, the one that breaks, oh, that's not true. That wasn't the one. So we have one that never turned, we had to manually turn it on. So that one always got turned off by switch. That one still works. But I think I did a switch, like I swapped something, but I can't even remember now. It was only like last month, 2 months ago. I swapped between the units something, and boy, I don't remember. Maybe just the back piece. I don't know. But anyway, so that the one that wouldn't manually turn on is an extra light that we have now. I mean, that will now just be on when you turn it on. Or I don't know. I think I put the new one up and the other one is down. Yeah. So these have some deep eyes. Like, these are way different. There's a very fine line around the eye itself. Let's see if you can see that. So here there's like an actual, like, let's say eyelashes, kind of sculpted eyelash kind of a thing going on there. Usually they're just maybe a bit of a bump. Let's see, what does Squirrel Girl have here? Yeah, see, they're just orbs. There's an eyelash, you know, like a single eyelash, like an eyelash on the top, but not on the bottom. I don't know. I'm really knocked out by these sculpts. I actually noticed, I think that might be over now, that there was a not a Kickstarter, excuse me, I don't know what they call their funding campaigns, crowdfunding campaigns on My Miniature Factory. Big Child Creatives are the people that sculpted these and painted the minis for the Kickstarter. Got the rights to do hate, and so you could buy. Now you'd have to print everything. You could buy a lot of the hate stuff, if not everything. I didn't really analyze it. Sebastian painted that set and had fun with it. I don't know if he enjoyed the game or not. I'm sure they've played it. They are very good about playing their games, especially when he's painted them. And I thought that was intriguing. I know that Simon got rid of some of their sold some of their properties off. You know, just ones that they knew they weren't going to be working on anymore. And I imagine that was one of them. I don't know how successful that game was, how people enjoyed it or not. But I was intrigued. Like, so Big Child with somebody else was doing that, and I couldn't find, like, I didn't have the time. I was just like, oh, and you know, I think I went into My Miniature Factory for something else and was intrigued by, saw that, and I was like, what is that about? Or maybe I got an email about it ending soon. I think I got an email. And that's exciting. I mean, I love that there's some of these things, you can do that if you want. I don't know that I would want to print that many minis. It's pretty dark skin-wise. I'll probably put a little bit of lighter tone on there to make him Again, I really feel like you need to make the faces very white. This guy's fine, he'll be good. But I think I need to make them whiter, brighter, just to really get it so it pops. Again, it's just a miniature. You can do whatever level you want. It's not worth getting worked up about. I basically thumb a ton of stuff on Reddit because I just love that anybody's even painting their stuff. And some are rougher than others. It's their first time painting. And I think these, as I've said many times, I think these are great minis to start with. They're large, much larger than Games Workshop minis, where you can start doing eyes and stuff like that. I've shown recently, I'll show it in a bit here, the Crimson Court that I did of Games Workshop they were actually minis from, they might have been in something else too, but they were used in Warhammer Underworlds. And they're back too. They have these new sets that are 4 warbands per set. I don't know what the going price is, but they were like $80 some on Amazon, and I was tempted even to get another set of these the vampires because I really love painting them. But the faces are teeny. I will show you here. We'll do a comparison of this one to those. And you're not going to get the same kind of detail. Some people are very good at getting those faces even at that scale looking very nice. I'm okay. I did notice that Ninjon won another. It's a silver. I think last time he got a bronze, and I was wondering because it did not look that great. I mean, it looked cool, but it was not that. I wonder if he's going to do anything. And he absolutely got a second place, silver, in the Golden Demons at AdeptCon, which was exciting. I feel it's very exciting. I was hopeful. I like his channel. I think he's a little rough sometimes, but he does give some decent advice most of the time. But I was hopeful that he would win so that he wouldn't be disheartened to continue. Vincent Venturella is not going to do those anymore, and he does some amazing work. And he didn't. I think Vincent gave John advice, so I don't even understand how Vincent could win because he's really talented. And he had to travel for those. He went to Europe, to UK for the Games Days. I'm really knocked out that they're going to do. So they're doing the Golden Demons at Adepticon, and they're doing the Golden Demons at Spiel. And we hadn't been to a Golden Demon thing. Nikki and I went in 2003, I think, when they used to do them here in, like they used to do Games Days. And it was amazing. But, of course, miniature painting has evolved tremendously in the last 22 years. But we were knocked out, just totally knocked out. And it looked pretty great. The stuff looked great. They only had like the preliminary stuff because it was, I don't know if they were announced on Sunday or what. That's how they did them at Spiel. But we have a friend that he's been part of the reason why we get stuff from GW. We have had meetings with them. Very nice guy from the UK. I don't know if he traveled for this event. He definitely helped run it at Spiel. Squirrel Girl, yeah, she's awesome. Which do you like better, Marvel United or Marvel Champions? Okay, so I have Marvel Champions. I have not painted it. Haven't played it or painted it. I played Marvel United. I want to play. Actually, I don't know if I have both sets of Marvel Champions. Oh wait, were you talking Marvel Champions or Marvel Champions? Champions is awesome. Played that several times. Miniatures wise, Marvel. What is that one called? Marvel. I don't know. Those minis are assembled minis, which is exciting. Those are from. Atomic Mass. But yeah, Marvel Champions is awesome. It's a slower game than Marvel United. Marvel United is a very family-friendly game. Like, the cards are, you can see our episode. When we've played it on streams a few times. Sorry, I got the hiccups. It's a slower game. I think that's ideal, an ideal two-player or even solo-player game. Marvel Champions. Crisis Protocol is the name of the other one. Marvel Crisis Protocol. I want to try that one too. I think I have at least one of those sets, maybe both of the starter sets, core boxes. And I also have Shatterpoint, the Star Wars Shatterpoint. They were super nice to me and gave it to me this last year, I think, at Gen Con. And I have not opened it yet. And I want to. I want to paint it. I love Star Wars. I'm dreaming of the day that they come up with Star Wars United. Absolutely would be wonderful. Yeah, thanks for that. Crisis Protocol, yeah. I actually like Marvel stuff. I didn't really know anything about Marvel other than Spider-Man and X-Men, right? They were movies, so I saw them. We had some friends that were really into that. Wow, that's crazy how dark that got with just a little bit more touch-up. And I think this was the lightest. I was trying to make them all equal, but it's very difficult to tell how bright everything is when you do it. But he'll look cool. So let's see here. I need to do a brown. It looks like I need to use Wildwood for his facial hair. Might as well do it. His eyes are white. Is that correct? Yeah. So the nice thing was in the, oh well, what are we doing here? I don't know comments. The nice thing was does he have any irises or pupils? They started showing on the second X-Men, the Marvel United X-Men set, the back side of the miniatures. Most of the time you could figure it out. I did a pretty decent job figuring it out most of the time, but I think everybody wants to know, like, they want to know. I was looking at other images, like comic book images and stuff like that, which don't match necessarily. And they started to do both sides. Now, hilariously, I would save every single image from the first campaign, and they were basically 3 angles that were just a fraction of a degree difference. So you saw a little bit more of the front, maybe. Some of them might have been a little bit more extreme, but mostly they weren't. And now I'm happy that they did that. But now there's only one photo of everything, which is cool. I don't need. I can use my imagination for most of that stuff. This guy kind of looks like it's not the same, but I mean it has like, I did Kang the Conqueror, which I'm sad that didn't. I would love to have seen what they did with that. I really liked Jonathan Majors in that. He was pretty cool in. I liked this character. People were disappointed with the character in. Was it in? I mean, Loki, I think, was where he was kind of interesting, and then it was Quantum Mania that ending. You know, he was different. He was you know, villainous. But yeah, it's cool. Do I have any other faces I need to paint? I do not. Oh, I got Squirrel Girl. Let's lighten it up and use it for her. Actually, I think I have 2 Squirrel Girls. Oh, I already did one. So this is Scott's Rattle Can. You can see it's a little. That's why I haven't gone any further on her. Is I feel like looks like she's got 5 o'clock shadows. So I will probably go back and hand paint this before. Yeah. So this is Scott's. His ears are perfectly fine on here. I will probably end up breaking it. I've now just jinxed it. It looks to me like her hair is a separate piece from the rest of her head. I did purchase putty to try to fill some of these gaps, as I have not done any of them yet so far. I'm disappointed in myself. Do I have a favorite Marvel United? Why am I not seeing this? Hero or boss? Well, I totally love Dormammu. The mini looks fantastic. We haven't played we've probably played about 10 games at least of the game, which is a lot for us. But I haven't played with Dormammu or Hela, but I painted those both at about the same time, and I really loved them. I loved the paint jobs. The There have been others. Let me see if I can think of any that I have done. Well, I really liked painting Kingpin. I've only done one so far. I will do the other two here. Those are going to be off camera. I'm going to try not to. I'm sure I'm boring everybody with Marvel United as it is, but I really don't want to bore them with the same ones I've been doing for ages. Man, this green is intense. At least it's not blue or red, but it's also green and purple. I don't know. The color schemes, it feels like they grow tired of what they're doing. So let's do Squirrel Girl. Let's put a little bit more contrast medium in. So she is way more pale, the paint job. I definitely went a little probably overboard on the highlighting, because then you lose. I mean, you can still see it, right? See how it's dark when you look at it from underneath and it's lighter when you look at it from above. I probably lost some of the contrast from that, but I'm not too worried about it. Again, they're comic characters. You do whatever you want. They're going to be great. But yeah, I loved the Sinister Six. So we played the Sinister Six. That was all villains. And that was a great one. Oh my gosh, that's the other thing. So the Game Store has got a sale going on. I don't know if it's still going. It was at the beginning of the weekend. Like after I streamed, I was like, oh man, because I was talking about like getting stuff. They had good deals, very good deals on Marvel United stuff. There were some sets that were, man, I swear I feel like I saw something that was $10, maybe $19, but I think there were 10. I do not need any more minis. If I really needed any more of the first wave, Scott would probably let me have. He bought a cup, you know, like a set and a half or something like that. But I really cannot. I'm really trying not to buy more minis. And there was a new Kill Team set, and I was thinking about it. And I cannot buy it. I just can't. And I have too many minis. I will die before I finish all these things. It's terrible. I don't like thinking about that. But still seems dark. So what I do often is I kind of creep up on the intensity I want. I did not do that on Immortus, which I'm a little disappointed in myself on. I need like a mini to check this stuff on, to see like the intensity, because like I put it on my fingernail and sometimes on the palette. Now I don't use a wet palette for contrast or speed paints, but I feel like if you layer it, because you know we're already doing the shading, we're letting the Zenithal paint job. Wow, that's too dark. I let the Zenithal paint job do the heavy lifting of the shading, and it works great. I'm wicking off some of this paint here because I don't want it to be quite that dark. So I do not need this much. I'm done for sure with Immortus. I'm going to just wick some of this paint out of the reservoir here. Revoking my gamer card. That Chad is telling me I'm Chad, I'm looking at right here. Let's just do a quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I'm just counting box games. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 34 minimum. There's a stack of them behind me too. So probably 40 mini box games. That's just box games. That's not any armies or anything that I have to paint. And they always come with quite a few minis. That's just Games Workshop. I cannot buy anymore. As much as I would love to buy, like I've never bought any large-scale Games Workshop, real large-scale Games Workshop stuff. As a matter of fact, one of the things in that new Kill Team is like a huge terrain piece it's a Sisters of Battle, which I love Sisters of Battle. And I would love to paint that, but I can't. I cannot do it anymore. I have so much. Death May Die, yeah. I have that Cthulhu. I don't have any of that. Scott got me the Death May Die, and I said I'd paint it, and I have not. I would like to do that too. I looked at we have Rob Oren's at our offices in Dallas, and I love it. I think he did a great job, and he's a much faster painter than me. Anyway, but yeah, I can't do it. I would love to back more of these things. I pretty much should not back any more United stuff they do. If they do Star Wars, I will back it. If they do another, I can't imagine they're going to do another Marvel United. There's just not that many. I don't know. There could be many more characters. I have no idea. But I felt like going through these, they're really awesome looking, but I knew nothing. Like in this one, I knew Ironheart because she's in Black Panther. I know Doctor Doom, peripherally, actually more as a rapper than as a, different Spider-Man that I don't know. I guess this is like a Ghost Rider maybe kind of thing. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, I don't know them, right? This is the main box. I know Captain Carter, and I know Mighty Thor. I know, good gosh, what else do I know? I know Immortus. I don't know why I know Immortus. Oh, and Loki, like there's a Loki character in there, which I didn't know Loki before Avengers, the first Avengers movie, which I didn't even go to see initially at the theater. Nikki dragged me to the theater because her office went. She's like, you gotta see it. And I'm not a huge fan of the team-ups. I just don't really care, and it changes the scope of what goes on so that, they're superheroes, I get it. But like, how many times can Earth be at risk? I think maybe that's why I like Guardians of the Galaxy, because it was just, not on Earth till, he comes on Earth, he's on Earth in Infinity War, right? And then he's on Earth again at the end of Guardians 3. As a matter of fact, I don't even know if he's one of the ones that was snapped, so I don't know. But yeah, it's just so much. And I like it. I hope that they do better. I'm excited. I don't know when Deborah comes back on Daredevil, but I'm hopeful that's soonish. It has to be. There's only a certain amount of episodes for this season, and they are filming season 2 right now. I keep hearing about people being added to the cast. I'm like, wow, how many people do they... See, now this isn't that... You can't really see it, but this is not that white. Now, I will be building it up. I will wick off some of this so that it doesn't get too dark too quickly. I think she's going to come out darker again, and that is just going to have to be how it is, because... So you really don't want to touch this stuff. It's already gelling. That's the weirdest thing about contrast paints, is that they... you can tear the film on, the membrane that's developing on standard acrylics, but I feel like this stuff is very quick. Like, I was reading some people like, oh, it takes a long time to dry. And it probably is slower than regular acrylics, but it's like, I feel like I haven't even, I don't know, they're both terrible. Like, I love acrylic paints because they're so simple. They're generally easy to clean. They do a nice job. They have really great colors. But I just have the worst luck with them in Southern California. So I won't be done with skin. I'll have to wait before I clean that and move on with Immortus. Wow, look at him. He's very dark. It's cool though, who cares? I honestly feel that when I was looking at this one earlier, this was the one that was paler, and it is not. Maybe I was using a thicker skin tone. Maybe it went too quickly, too ramped up. But yeah, the inching towards the intensity that you want is when you have the shading already built into the undercoat. Number one, it makes it more transparent so that you can see that shading and you easily get to levels that look pretty good. But man, I don't know. I wonder if I should just always paint the faces additionally with, I try to airbrush them, but maybe that's not enough. I'm looking here if there's any others that I need flesh tone on. Akoya needs it, but she's darker and I don't want to keep applying this coat because then I've done that too. So I did Nebula and her skin was blue, and I'm not satisfied with the skin, blue skin tone. It's not a thing that they even sell, I don't believe. Maybe there's some sort of like I don't know. But I had to do multiple layers, and I felt it got way too thick. Now, it's not a problem. I could use, Chad, there is one. Galactus Chibi is sitting behind me. Let me see if I can pull him out. I want to paint him too. He's phenomenal. Let me see if I made a mess this week, and I was getting the filters out. Here it is. It is a pretty amazing miniature. Now, it is a fraction of the size of the Marvel zombies, but here is Galactus. He's not small. Let me get in here so I can hear this. But yeah, look at this. It's just gigantic, right? Here's the comparison. And it isn't even, I mean, this is, I believe, the biggest Marvel United. He's got a little bit of mar on him there. Now, I'm going to paint him entirely. And it's a different material. It's kind of squishy. But this looks good too. I mean, I saw somebody was like, "Finish for now," a post on Reddit. And I was laughing because I'm like, yeah, if you're crazy and you continue to buy them too, because I think he had another shot of everything being done. But these are pretty good. I don't know how, actually, let me just try scraping it and see what trying to smooth out that seam is like. I have no idea. I've not done anything on these larger guys. Because there's a couple of pretty, well, there's this. And there's another one. I can't remember what they're called. She's like standing over a house. It's pretty great. But those are standard plastic. I mean, the standard plastic they use. I don't know how standard it is. It's, it's definitely better than it used to be. So that's scraping pretty good. It's still going to probably look like a mold line. But what am I going to do? I mean, I don't know. Look at the finger there. Wow. This is going to be challenging. And I've got 3 of these to paint. I'm going to be doing a lot of airbrushing, I think. It cleans up. It'll clean up reasonably well. But that giant Galactus is just crazy. But this is cool. I also am excited about Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. Those are another pretty large mini that I think it's the standard plastic. Yeah, see, this is terrible here. But should I worry about it, right? This is the kind of thing. Do I need to worry about this stuff? Let's see here. See, now that went right down below the purple. So it's a dark plastic underneath. It's not actually that plastic. The colors, this is not the color of the plastic. Now again, I'm painting the whole thing. He's probably going to be entirely black. I will prime it most likely. We'll see. Well, no, I will prime it. We'll see if I prime it black. Interesting. So yeah, I got 2 of these to do, 2 more of these to do, and I got to clean them all up. I like the base too. Is it a different plastic? It feels like it is a different plastic. Anyway, he'll sit here and taunt me till I get to them. I'm kind of afraid. I'm kind of afraid. But yeah, he's awesome. Well, we saw the Galactus, the Marvel Zombicide Galactus so we decided I was going to paint it, and we took it to the warehouse, and then I saw it at Common Ground. I'm just like, oh my God, that thing is massive. You know, the base that it comes with, everybody's, Nikki and Scott are like, does that come with a miniature? I'm like, yes, it does. Which is fun. Okay, I'm going to be done with the squirrel girl here in a moment. There's some pooling on her wrist. But yeah, these are all fun, and you know, part of the fun for me is, as I said, I don't know the characters, so it's learning about these characters. And of course, I knew about Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur because we really liked the animated show on Disney Plus. I think there's 2 more episodes or something like that coming, but it's been canceled. They didn't continue with it, which is too bad. It was fun, and I actually liked the animation style, and there's some fun things. Lawrence Fishburne is the Beyonder, I think is what the character is called, and that was fun. I don't know the Beyonder. Might have been new for the show, I don't know. And Raphael Sadiq, who I liked the music for the show. And he was part of a group called Tony. And you know, I vaguely recognized his name when I looked it up because I was like, wow, I really like the music on this show. Partly because we are fans of a band called Jellyfish, and they are long gone. They've been broken up for more than 30 years. And the singer, we're listening to this thing, and Nikki's like, that is him. And we look it up, and sure enough, it was Andy Sturmer. I was like, wow. He does children's shows. He does Disney shows, so I don't know how that came about, but it was exciting, and just to hear him doing something, because he never does anything, never performs anymore. The other members of his band are still around doing things, but he is gone from doing that. I mean, you know, he's probably near 60 now, so. I don't know how old Jason Faulkner is. He's in his 50s, I'd imagine. But yeah, we were crazy for them. I went to see them live once. I wished I'd seen them in the UK when I saw they were playing. But I was like, I don't have time, but I should have gone. At the Marquee, which I never went to the Marquee. I should have gone. I had a little time. I did see stuff when I was in the UK. I was there for a little while going to school, and it was awesome. Okay. Yeah, that is a pretty great miniature. Maximature. They did a really nice job. It's interesting. So I was scraping that mold line that is painted. Like here, I cut it, and it's black. You can see right there. Let's see if it'll focus. Yeah, that's black. So intriguing. Maybe it's like a vinyl paint. So that's going to be you know, it's not, again, I'm going to paint the whole thing. So no matter what, it'll be some color colored over it first. Wow, look at that, how slow it is to focus. It gets fast once you do it, once it locks in. So yeah, that little bit on her wrist that I touched, which I shouldn't have, was gelled. I'm going to try to fix here a little bit. She's got a little bit darker skin on her hands because, you know, she isn't quite as concerned about her skin her face, she's more worried. She's got moisturizer and stuff, so she's a little paler on her skin. I should use moisturizers. It is so dry here right now. Also, the other thing that was going wrong when I started is the music, whatever music I had selected here to start off was, sounded like it was multiple streams. I was checking on, do I have the YouTube stream going? Do I have the Twitch stream going? I usually have everything else muted except for the call that I'm on. Basically, my computer here calls into the computer in the control room, and it gets me able to monitor like what's happening and see that everything's okay on our end. I don't listen to myself because I'd go insane hearing the echo. In the very beginning of using vMix, we had those issues. That's actually not really true. The beginning of vMix was a little before that, but she looks pretty good there. It's a little bit less dark than the other one that I recall it being. A little less, I definitely need to work on, maybe I can do it real fast. I'm supposed to be working on these other ones. So you can see the shading. I will probably airbrush her more. This is the paint getting damaged from all the miniatures touching each other. It was bad. I'm really disappointed that they took these apart. The packaging. We had to sort them because everything was mixed together, and we originally had them sorted out. I definitely should paint this. She's got a lot of blue coming through, and it will look weird on the brown tail. So I will be done with that, and I am done with the paint. She looks pretty good. Let me double check her ears. I tend to overlook the darned ears. Nikki and I have been watching the, she's probably watched them. I have never watched the extended versions of The Lord of the Rings. I truthfully haven't watched the movies that much in general. They're fine, I like them, but I'm probably more of a purist for the books, and I have only read the books twice, I think. I have friends that read them every year. Nikki's read them, I think, multiple times. I do like that they do these other characters that, you know, are definitely smaller. Some of them, like the Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, those are recent creations, I believe. But I love that they... You know what? I said that Scott's... Isn't this the one that was broken? No. I'm sorry, this is the other one. So both of the ones in the plastic, this did not get damaged in the shipping. Both the ones in the plastic holder, this ear touches the side of the box, and if it gets bumped, and this was shipped twice, at least, probably 3 times actually, it popped it off. So Scott's is the only one that's still okay. It looks pretty good, considering like I was doing it without actually looking at that. I was using the other ear as a kind of guideline. You were the same way with Concrete Blonde? What's going on, man? Okay. Okay, I was gonna do the, I did pull it out. That is Gorgontifer. Let's use that one. Wildwood's probably too dark. Although it looks like it might be. But yeah, it was pretty exciting to hear that. So I've actually heard that guy twice. I mean, he probably does some singing on the, he's done like Powerpuff Girls, and he actually produced Puff the Amiyumi, which is a girl band from 20 years ago, probably, or maybe they're still around. But anyway, I've heard him in 2 songs. I heard him in that one from Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, and I heard him in a song from this band called LEO, which is really Blue, I think is the guy's name. I have some of his CDs. he sang like the verse, one of the verses in one of his songs on that one. Oof, I just dropped that on myself. Sing the verse on one of those songs, Goodbye Innocence, I think the name of the song was, but I don't even know how I heard that record. Maybe I saw it on the internet that people were talking about it. I don't really follow them on the internet, Jellyfish. I really do like them, still do. But I'm also not one of those nostalgia people. I mean, I still love the Beatles, and you know, obviously they were not of my time, but my parents liked them, and I'm sure I heard plenty. I mean, there's a band I love now called the Lemon Twigs, where their father was a musician as well, and they are way into that era, 60s and 70s music. Beach Boys, Beatles, Todd Rundgren. They worked with Todd Rundgren. They had a song on their last album, I think, with Sean Lennon, not Julian Lennon. But yeah, it's, you know, I'm a weirdo. But yeah, I don't generally get into the nostalgia thing. I don't. I was actually reading a book. There's a book out from this label, a label called Mute Records, which is now like 46 years old. And hey, Flare Blue. We're doing okay. We came back from Texas Pinball Festival a week ago, Monday. Is that right? Yeah. And thankfully we didn't get sick, didn't get concrete or anything. But people had gotten sick. We were here. Scott was telling me about it, that some folks were reporting that they got COVID and stuff, which is a bummer. But we're doing okay. Anyway, so I was reading this book about Mute Records. Oh, by the way, Flare Blue, thanks for asking. And Mute Records is a label that is an independent label because they're back to being independent. They were the ones that signed Depeche Mode, and I really like Depeche Mode, and very much, probably the same level as the Beatles. I feel like there's more facial hair. I guess I'm just overseeing it here. I think it looks like it's connected on this other one, and it is not on this one. Anyway, so I got into that record label back then. Just, you know, the producer was the guy that owned the label was one of the producers of the band early on, and so I was intrigued, and I found a band called, well, first of all, I knew a band called Wire. They were a little before my time. You know, I was too young for them. But when I got into them in the 80s, that was when they got back together. A few years before that, like 2 years before that, in my record buying teen and post-teen craziness, when I used to go to record stores all the time, I found this band called He Said, which turns out, I don't know if it was labeled, it might have been. I used to go to a place called Aaron's, which is gone. I mean, they're all pretty much gone. And they might have put a note that it was the guy from Wire, which was maybe the reason why I bought it. Anyway, I really liked them. You know, it was one of the lead singers from Wire, and I really liked that record. And I had forgotten about it. Not really, but you know, like one of those things where I hadn't played it in a long time. I don't dig in that often to it. It's like every once in a while I'll put together a playlist of something older. But I went through that book, and they didn't mention them. Now, understandably, it was not a big album, but it had Brian Eno on it and things like that. And I like Brian Eno, and So I played the record. I hadn't heard it in probably at least 10 years, maybe more. And it was really cool to hear it. Like, oh wow, you know, this is a great album. I didn't forget it was a great album. I knew it was a great album. It was just one of those things where I'm not constantly digging through oldies or even the stuff of my youth necessarily that often. And I love many bands from that era. Cool, that looks pretty good. Did I just mess that up? Nah, looks pretty good. Sure looks like I painted it to his nose. That's the little cheekbones there. But that looks good. Now I probably will put a little bit of light streaking in the beard after his goatee, after when I start to tweak these things. Yeah, this one's too dark. It's okay, it doesn't matter. I'm very considerate of the people I'm painting for, and I give them the better ones, and that will be one that I will give them because it will look better than the one that'll be one I'll keep for myself, because it will not look, it's gonna bug me. He's a little dark. What was the one I was looking at that was in this set? Is it here? No. But yeah, I was looking at it as I was cleaning it and painting it. The face was so tiny. We actually have a pretty good station, college station here, that's mostly kind of the valley. It's a CSUN station, California State University Northridge. They've been around for a long time, you know, like different iterations. And I think one of the guys that used to be, is it Nick Harcourt? He used to be at it was a community college radio station called KCRW, which is a great station. There's been some fantastic music directors over the years. But you know, it's not music all day long, which understandably, it's a college radio station that does NPR news and things like that as well. So I don't listen to them that often. This other station that's, I actually don't listen to radio very much at all. Nikki does more of it than me because she'll go help her mom and stuff like that, and she'll drive around. And I'll listen to her with her when we're going somewhere. But it's a pretty good station. They play new stuff and older stuff, which is nice. It's, you know, we're always looking to find something new musically. And I used to read Pitchfork and Paste, and still occasionally read an article, but I don't read it like I used to. I don't have any favorite bloggers anymore. And that's too bad, because, you know, it is, without radio, we've listened to I don't have Sirius or XM, but we have listened to like the college equivalent on there. And I used to love MTV back when they actually played music. had a college variant, and MTV2. I mean, MTV2 was 26 years ago, 27 years ago, I think. I remember being very excited about that because I think what they did, I know what they did, is they played, when they started, I believe, they played the entirety of their library of music in alphabetical order, which was really amazing because, like, the funny thing is there's one song that Nikki and I have obsessed about. It was played, I believe, on 120 Minutes back in the day when we first started going out. And we loved 120 Minutes. And we've never been able to find that song. And I was hopeful that I would catch it. But, you know, it's like, this is before DVRs. I think when MTV2 started, that was 97 or 8, maybe? I don't know. Long time ago. That's 20 something years ago. That's the crazy part. Like, my brain can't even wrap around it. Time is moving quickly now. Yeah, I miss that. Hey, David. Yeah, we've been busy too. We got back from Texas Pinball Festival, which was really great. Had a great time. And there was some new machines, which were, the Evil Dead is really phenomenal. It's only 888 made, so I will never be, well, I could buy a used one maybe at some point in time, but it's a nice machine. I think most of the people that bought that one will want to keep that one. I was reading a post about disliked Stern machines from the last 10 years. And it was like, several of the ones are ones that I really love. Like, wow, I guess I am not in tune. But a lot of people, several comments were like, not a lot to do in the game. I'm like, well, you do realize most of these games are just several shots that you need to then just do in a specific order to get things done. It's how pinball is. It doesn't change. It's kind of the case for multimorphic P3 pinball machines. Those are like a game console pinball machine now. It's very expensive. Like, to get a game, the newest one is Portal, which is really awesome. It is based on it is IP of the Valve game. Really cool. The machine is really, the nature of their machine, I don't know if they like picked that theme because they thought it would be so cool with the way their machine works, but it's incredible. And this is why I have my phone muted. I actually don't like it because what ends up happening is I don't take it off mute. Anyway, but the Portal one it's like $11,500, which is very expensive. Maybe more than that. Actually, it might be that for the base one. So there's actually two versions of the game. There's one that actually extends the module that you add into the machine over the playfield, and the playfield on these machines is a display. So the game can change, like things like the inserts and stuff like that can change because it's a display. It's pretty impressive. Last year they did Princess Bride, really cool. Interesting one. Now again, because the way the module works, it's at the back of the playfield. So basically the back third of the machine is this piece that you pull out. Well, the Portal one has a Well, I hope that's working out. That means if you're negotiating for a site for your project, that things are going well. But not getting sick, no fun. Anyway, so this one portal, what it does is it was why Nikki thought it was cool, is they extend a couple elements over the display. So there's a ramp that lifts up and drops down to the play field and then lifts back up and stuff. And then there's a spinner that's also extended out, an actual physical spinner. The interesting thing is the less expensive version has that spinner virtual. So your ball passes over it and it spins the spinner, which is pretty impressive. I did not play that version of the game. I played it twice, and I played the deluxe version, the enhanced, or I don't know what they call it. But that one's another $1,700 or something like that. So that's the cost of that machine. And then any of the others, so like, I don't know how expensive Princess Bride is. You can actually, I think the way they make the cabinets is you can change the art out so that it looks like whatever machine you want if you buy that stuff. But you just can replace, supposedly, they showed it in like the first stream panel of theirs we went to see 2 years ago. They switched the module out in 2 minutes. It's pretty awesome, but like you'd have to store these modules. They're pretty big. They're a third of a pinball machine playfield. But it is really awesome. We played a new one from a brand new company called Turner Pinball. Last year was their first game called Ninja Eclipse, and Nikki really liked that game. I was not knocked out, but I also only played it like twice. It was they had both these shows. They have two machines of their new machines, so it's difficult if everyone wants to try them out. Their new one was Merlin's Arcade, which I thought was pretty awesome. Theme-wise, I thought that was fun because it's basically all the kinds of things in a arcade. So they had like foosball. They actually have the spinner is a foosball player, spinning, and some other cool stuff. It was really quite cool. And what else do we play? Oh, D&D, which I think is really cool. It's new, so it will change over time. But it was really great, and I would love to play it more. That is the challenge. We do have a local arcade in a restaurant nearby that's very good, and they do have D&D, so we'll go over there and play it some. But they had this really fun campaign of badges, so that's one of the things they've done Stern has done. They have a thing called Insider Connected. It basically gamifies, like video game type achievements. So they actually have achievements. They have badges that are events that are often just based on this last month, where each games they would pick started out easier and got harder, and they would pick one of the achievements that's more difficult to get, and then that would be what you need to do that in the week that it was available to get the badge. Really cool. And so I worked hard on one for D&D. Dwight, who's the programmer on that one, he also did the Star Wars machine, which we really love. He didn't even get it. We were trying to get the Star Wars one that week, which was complete lightsaber duel. And I think I got into it. Might have not been on. We had a mistake where we were switching like the order that we played, and so we didn't. I think I was playing somebody else's anyway, but I don't think I finished it even for them. I think I started but didn't finish it. And it's a little challenging to get it started. There's ways to bypass things, but it's awesome. It's a really cool machine. The Dragon's neat. Has 8-ball multi-ball, which is insane. There's a lot more to come from that machine. I think they're only in the 8s, 0.8, like 7 or 8, 0.88 maybe right now. And 1.0 is considered, the code is ready. There will likely be changes and fixes after that, but like all of the features are implemented at that point in time. So it's pretty awesome. see. We're looking at T-shirts here. But there were other stuff. There was some homebrew ones. Nikki really liked The Greatest Showman. It's based on the movie, and the movie's based on the very loose fictional account of very, very, very loose fictional account, which I've never even seen it, of P.T. Barnum. Factual, but I say it's really, it is based on characters, but it's nothing to do with them for real, I think. But anyway, it was a neat machine. A husband and wife did all the work. They converted an existing machine called Whirlpool, I believe, which were the 3-ring circus, right? It was a really great inspired design for the source machine, but the husband did all of the physical machine work, and it looked phenomenal. I don't know how they got the play. They were in the homebrew community and got lots of advice, and the playfield was beautiful, like legitimately looked like a real standard release pinball machine. And then the wife, she coded it. She learned to code that game, and it was really cool. I mean, I was with a friend and he was kind of bagging on. I'm like, well, look, it's her first go, you know what I mean? It's not easy to do. And I would hate to see what anybody else, I mean, I know I would do a terrible job. And I'm not a coder. But yeah, it was really awesome. And there was also a homemade, now this one was completely homemade, Mad Max machine that was just great. I only got to play it once because the line was either off or too busy, too crowded. Because there's one event on Saturday for people that brought pinball machines. You can get into the con for free if you bring a pinball machine that you let people play. And we know the people that run that event, so we got to go in for that. We know people that work there, and we know people that run the event, and so we were able to go and play on that in that evening, and it was awesome. Really, really cool, and super fun for the folks that bring their machines, because it's a lot. Like, it gets a lot of wear. Pinball's designed to be played, but it is the reason why it they don't have arcades with them so much is because they are they're hard to care for. You have to actually be on it all the time. I'm having a problem with our machine. We have Munsters, and one of the things we have is not working correctly, and I have to figure that out. And there's people out there, and there's a lot of people you can ask that have great knowledge of how all that works. So eventually I will figure that one out. I do not know what happened. Let's see here. I need to try to paint their eyes. And since it actually has a defined eyelid, I'm probably going to just paint the white and then paint that. Usually I paint it depends. If you watch some of the old streams, it depends on how you do it. I also don't love to paint them on stream because I tend to do much worse. Like, I get way clumsy, but we'll see. Actually, I'm going to paint the white first because it's going to go in there and I don't want to mess up the black. I'm really getting low on the, it's not that low, bright white. I think the black is the one I'm really getting low on. Now, I had to thin this down because it was really coagulating. And this is the very first bottle of Pro Acryl that I bought. I might have bought some other stuff at the time. I don't feel like I did, though. I don't know. But this is, well, this says Phoenix. Oh, you know what? This is bright neutral gray. That's why there's a lot in there. Where's the white? Oh, here it is. Oh, yeah, I'm starting to run out. I had to thin it up a little bit. This was made in Canada when it was done with creature casters, I think. And I'm pretty sure that's who they worked with. And it was starting to coagulate, that one and this one. So this is a transparent white. You can't hear the agitator yet. I mean, it's crazy how white pigment is. It really is, it's a heavy, heavy, heavy pigment, and it settles. And you basically need to, I mean, all of these paints, I have this giant bottle. I need to start using it because I'm probably never going to get through it. This giant bottle of De La Rowney white this is actually really great. It just isn't what I hoped it would be, I think, ultimately. I have some wax here, beeswax, it keeps falling down. And you have to shake it, what does it say? Shake it lightly before use. That's impossible. You have to shake it a lot because the pigment just settles and it settles so quickly and heavily. The downer is this is like 8 ounces, isn't it? Does it have ounces on here? 6 ounces. A little too heavy for the agitator. I think 4 ounces what was recommended on that one. I love that vortex mixer. I bought it ages ago when it was much cheaper than it is now, and it's still doing me a good job. Everybody I know that got one has still got theirs. There are other ones, but I saw something, I'm pretty sure it was on Reddit, where one of the vortex mixers in shaking took the split the wires, so it was like oof. But this is meant to be for lab. You know, it's a lower grade than like the real heavy duty lab equipment. I think Adam Smasher, Uncle Adam, he has one of them, like Vornado or something. That doesn't sound right. That was cleaned up and painted nicely, I think. I mean, there's somebody that does I think he did buy one of those. This is gonna be the tiniest amount of white. This is terrible. There we go. I think I need to take this top off and see if I can, wow, it is thick. That is why it's not coming out easily. It's a complete thick glob of paint. It's terrible. I gotta get through this. I probably should put some thinner in here. But it means to me like, well, maybe no, it's not upside down. Why would it be so thick in the top of the thing? Look at this. These are like blobs of paint this paint is usually relatively thinned. Anyway, vortex mixers save your elbow. Sounds more fluid in there. Now I'm gonna have a ton. Maybe I can find some things I need to paint white. I really like using, I actually should be using it. I like using bright neutral gray as a white. It works pretty well. It's one of the things you don't realize how pale whites are, you know, like how white whites are, where if you can use this neutral gray and it will give you a good approximation of white, and it's a better paint. I mean, you know, having the darker pigment in there as well helps make it a better paint. Boy, I really wish I knew if I needed any white, because this is a lot of white. That was a tiny drop of water though, so maybe it wasn't that bad. Woof, okay. Very tiny opening there for his eye. I can't even believe they can cast this. I feel like there's something going on in there, in that eye. See, like this side, I wonder if there's like a bit of like, from the, you know, flashing maybe or something inside the eye there. It doesn't. So it's easier, I'll tell you now, it is easier to paint the black and then the white. But because it's so deep in there, I was kind of nervous that I would really destroy my black. So, not that you can't touch it up. Okay, I got 4 of these, 2 more to paint. So I'll have tiny droplets of white in each one of these, so it won't be too bad. These are so deep. So I'm kind of hoping to fill it up, the cavity to like on the edge, and then the black will cover up any like little over splash I got here. It's the other eye that's the problem on this one. How bizarre. Yeah, it was okay, let me clean that up. A little bit too much splash out. I usually use toothpicks to clean some of that up. Wow, now he's got a white tear. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna probably have to touch it up with the brown, the skin tone. Let's see if I can do that real quick. Might be enough. Gosh. This is the one that I've committed to myself, and I am continuing to destroy it. This is so hilarious. Oh my gosh. That's how it works. I don't mind. It will look pretty good. But doubling down on me, it's for me and not for the others. Because I did a terrible job on it. Oh well. You won't notice it. I mean, my ghostwriter, I really am not happy with the eyes, but it is what it is. Did I just use the other brush for that? I was using the GW one. Where'd that one go? Oh, here it is. I kind of feel like this other one, this liner, is way better. It might be the issue. It has a better guide hair than the GW. And the GW one's a basic one. It says fine detail brush, but I don't think it's very fine. Although I'll tell you, this one has some issues too. Like the guide hair is too long. Huh. I keep painting a teardrop. It's very, very fine. I don't even know how I'm going to paint this. I thought I was super confident in myself on that black outline. I don't know. Because this is a 18-0. Yeah, this is about as small as you get until you're painting. Sebastian actually has like a couple hair paintbrush to do kind of things like this. And this is huge. Oh, I didn't show. Let's just show one of the vampires, the Crimson Court vampires. Look at the difference in face size, you know. I should be able to do better. This is okay over here, and it's much tinier. But I'm doing a terrible job. Huh. I actually sharpen toothpicks so that they're finer in here to clean up stuff. And I don't think I broke those toothpicks. I need to sharpen again. I am not going to paint that right now because it will make a mess. So I'll wait till it dries. They definitely do an amazing job. I've seen plenty of paint jobs on the Reddit forum for this, for Marvel United, and they do a great job on the eyes. I don't quite understand how you can cheat the size. Maybe you just don't worry about it, or maybe they're, I don't know. Like, I feel mine always like, how are they making, if you follow what the shape of the eye is, there's definitely like a little spot in here that I can't get it. Well, he's got a little smirk, so his eyes look smirky too. This one's the best one. The first one I did. Okay. Now I have a tiny, tiny brush here. Probably need a new one of it because it's looking pretty rough. But it might do the eyes. I guess what I can do is paint the black and then paint the white again. It should be easy. It's so recessed. I don't know if you can tell, but the eyes are really deep inside. Well, you know, relatively deep. Let's see if this white brush will, this tiny brush will help me get that spot. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's supposed to be some sort of a pupil. So yeah, when you paint the other, you stack it. So like you paint the outer part, then you paint the eye, like essentially the whites of the eyes, then you paint the iris, and it's easier to layer that, right? You're just progressively getting smaller. So doing what I'm doing is a mistake, but I've already done it. So let's see. I actually was painting like the teeth on, the gaps in the teeth on Ghost Rider. I thought it looked pretty good. That's not bad. This will also be the best one. I'm jinxing myself already. That does not look bad. So this is a spotter. I've had these brushes for ages. I don't even know if, I don't think Michaels sells these anymore. I absolutely bought these at Michaels. I miss, you know, I think Michaels still has brushes, but they get beat up. Number one, people are not nice about caring for that stuff. I really miss, I could talk about it every other week, it seems like, but Continental here in the Valley was fantastic. There's still Carter Sexton, but it's a little further away, and I rarely go there. Guess the music's done? Let's see if I can get something going here. Very strange. That is not it. Is the call done? Great. Wow. Wow. You go look. So terrible. If you can hear me, I'll be back. Hey, Michael, if you can hear me. Let me go see what's going on with that computer. Ugh. It's the second time. Hey, the whole network went down, looks to me like. Huh. I guess I'm on? I don't know. Well, let me go see what's going on the other end. Maybe my device in there stopped. Very weird. Because I have nothing. Is the music... Yeah, music's playing. Looks to me like. Well, you guys can hear me. I can't see anything. Let me see if I can get that going in there. So I guess it isn't rebooting. Just network issues here. Who knows? It's been weird. I'm running this all without Derek, and Derek knows this stuff way better than me. I feel like this computer is not on the network. Okay. Why is this not on the network? It shows it as being on the network. Hey, Raina. Thanks for the raid, everybody. I'm sorry I'm not really on the call here. I guess I could just bypass this. This is weird. I think oh, here's a remote desktop. Shows me as being on there. I don't know what's going on. So let me look at the stuff. I guess we're going. You're still coming through to whatever's going on. Yeah, it's very weird. It's on my end here. I think the Mac I have here. It's funny. So everything, this is the last leg of this Mac. It's a you know what? The call died. That's what it is. This is working, but it looks like the call died with vMix. This is something that Derek has said we've had issues with, so that's probably what's going on here. Well, oh, there we go. It's back. So I can see it at least. Okay, well, very bizarre. But yeah, that was probably the issue, is the call. Thanks for chiming in on that. It is very weird. This software is not cheap. We pay for it. I think we have to pay for the upgrades. I don't think we pay like an annual fee, but they upgrade it and they charge you. And it's a limited kind of use thing. I think churches use it a lot. It provides us with the ability to call in. So literally, I'm calling in from this studio computer to the control room computer. So that I can control it. I'm actually using remote desktop software to get onto that computer, then run it. And the calls, one of the strongest elements of this software, because Derek, when he streams, he's doing exactly the same thing, but from the middle of the United States. He's in Colorado. So he remotes in and then controls the stream, and then he vMix calls in as well. That stuff works pretty great. I know that Derek has some issues with it, and we've been talking about some other software maybe, but this stuff is really powerful. I just wish that they would keep it up to date. Anyway, afternoon mini painting. Yes, I've been painting. So today I'm working on Immortus. Boy, his eyes do not look good on that one. So I have this one okay. But yeah, we like the software, for the most part. Derek has to keep up on it. Like what's going on with it, because they do an update and then they'll change some stuff the way it works, and you're like, oh, what is going on? I don't know any of it. I count on Eric's. I know enough to get this stuff going by myself, but I don't want Derek to have to sit here and watch me paint, because that's what he'd have to do. And I'm not cutting, right? I'm basically just showing this one shot. I'll cut between an on shot of me and then the table shot. And that's it. Eek, that's too heavy. Although it looks kind of cool. But yeah, the call software probably failed. So, you know, my camera, if it goes into the control room. We have it we have cables running from here to the control room, and it works perfectly fine. You know, I mean, it's all that works great. Oh, twice now. So I'm probably going to just leave that alone. Let me try to put a little bit of white in there though. That looks pretty good. It does look like he has pupils though, so I don't know what. I should look at the comic book. I have like I bought from Humble Bundle, like visual encyclopedia of Marvel stuff, and it uses Kobo, which I don't have the Kobo tablet reader, but I can use my apps, you know. I need to set it up so that I don't use my iPads. We have quite a few iPads, but I don't use them as an iPad, you know, like browsing and stuff. We use them to control cameras and stuff. But I have one that I could use. I need to set it up for that so I can look at that. For review, I looked at Scott's. He has one, and he's the one that suggested I get one. And I looked at his, and it was from 2010 or something like that. Wow, that's terrible. And it didn't have Yondu in it. I wanted to look at and see like some reference information about Yondu, so I don't know if that's a newer character or was created for the show. I don't think it would be, but it might have been. Wow. I'm gonna have to really get some paint in there because that stuff is wiping out the whites of the eyes. You know what? I think I painted on the eye. That is why that's so small. So I have to go back in there with some white. I did. Okay. It's the tiniest amount of paint. I'm doing a fantastic job making a mess of it. I should be using a miniature holder. Such a tiny amount of paint, it will be dry very quickly. So I mean, this is not an ideal brush to use for anything except for like this kind of thing, because it dries so fast in the brush. There's something weird with the iris. Wish I had a better, I should look at some Google images and see. Okay. Did I mess up the other eye? It sort of looks like I might have. Oh my gosh. He's got some of those wings. I put black paint on there. I don't think I did. I'm just putting the tiniest amount. That's okay. It's a little more challenging on this one, I think. I'm glad I didn't poke in there and try to clean that out, the plastic, because I might have messed it up. It's already kind of screwy. But I don't think I would notice that. It looks pretty cleanly detailed. Literally, that looks like I need a... Do I have the knife over here? I do. Let me see if that pops out, whatever the heck's in there. It's definitely a chunk of something. This might not be the exact what to use for it, though. You know what it could have been? It could have been just the paint. The skin tone might just coagulate in there and dry. That is probably what it is. Wow, okay. It's such a tiny opening, and so these contrast paints are little, it's interesting. They're not thick, but they do tend to the film is a little sort of thicker. I think that's what it is. Okay, well, let me fix what I messed up. That looks pretty good. Okay. Let's go back to the other one. That one's mostly good. I don't think there's enough white in there to, like, one of his eyes looks like, well, nobody's symmetrical. Ah, darn it. It's on the top of the eyelash again. See if I can just paint over it right now. I must have touched his eyebrow. It's a tiny bit of white. I'm spending forever on this face. Hey, thanks for the raid. Pieces and Pixels. I was checking out your stream earlier. I did get your email. I will talk to you about that. Hope you guys are having fun. I saw that you were playing Final Girl. Wow, another subscription. Thanks for the resubscription. Can I read that? I can't read anything. It's terrible. Anyway, thanks for joining us. I'm painting Marvel United Multiverse. This is where I started. I've started on this first mini I painted out of this box. Many, many more to go, unfortunately. The goal is, I really wanted to be done before the DC one showed up, but I won't wait like that. Hey, thanks for the follow. So can I see this stuff? My Blue Heather, I can read that. I just need to be closer, I think, but let me Let's make it larger and see if I can see it. There we go. Thank you so much for the follow. I'm working on the, I would like to try to do it on the show again. We did it 4 years ago, I think. The first wave of it. And I think we played with the, I know we played with the painted minis. That was part of the deal. Wow. Thanks for the subscription, my blue heather. I would like to try to do this again on the show because we have so much more stuff. And I've been painting these things for now nearly 4 years, probably 4 years, which is fun. I like doing it. I just wish I was a little bit more time to dedicate to just getting it done, but it is just too much. And I've committed to doing multiple sets because why not? If I'm painting one, it's not that much harder. Although I would now argue that I would probably say that painting these eyes is not a simple process. I wonder if it really is the paint. I feel like it is. The paint is drying inside this opening and causing a problem. Because what I'm chunking out of here, it looks brown, like the flesh tone, which is disappointing. It's such a tiny opening. Okay, well maybe the white can go down a little bit better. Okay, a little better. They do look very small in the illustration. Very like, he's almost like in a kind of trance type of a thing. I really don't know what Immortus does. Ugh. The interesting thing is because it is a opening for the whites of the eyes, I can actually paint one than the other without too much of a headache. Except there where I'm going to go back and forth on this 20 times. Is one of the things I do not like about, I mean, you want to paint these eyes. These eyes are pretty large. So if you don't paint them, I think it's going to be obvious. You can get away with it on the Games Workshop ones because they're so tiny. You watch people painting those on stream and you just realize, oh wow, that's a very small miniature. And they're doing a pretty great job. I don't think that's going to get more open there. Because I think, again, that one's got the same problem as the other one. The paint drying inside the opening. Let me clean that because it has, I'm going back and forth between black and white. And there's actually not a lot of paint on the brush, but it's still a potential mess. Okay. There we go. That looks pretty good. We're waiting on this one. Have not painted the, actually before I get in there though, I'm gonna see if I can clear out what's going on. I really feel it's the dried paint. Unfortunate. Maybe that's what's going on this one? Okay, you just do another dollop of white and then paint the black. The tiniest dollop of white though. Cool. What is this? No, I remember when you started doing this. I can't believe it. It is really 4 years. So Scott and I painted them in 2021. We got I paid for the Kickstarter, you know, because it was, the Kickstarter campaign was in like March or something like that of that, maybe a little earlier, maybe January, February of, I feel like it was after the pandemic started though, but maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, And I paid for the early delivery. I was very excited to try the game. We know Eric Lang, and we like, he was very excited about the design. And then we kind of got the word that, oh, it's okay game, right? And I got to tell you, they're wrong. It's fun. It's a very, so I say it's light, but we played with my mom in 2021 when Nikki was at a convention for the last company she worked for, board game company she worked for, and it was like August, and my mom just didn't get it. We're like, Scott and I were playing, and you know, we were controlling it. Scott's in Texas, so we were playing his character, you know, character stuff for him. And my mom just didn't get it. Like, she didn't understand, you know, it's cooperative, and she's played some cooperative stuff. She definitely, you know, she likes Ticket to Ride, not cooperative. But she just wasn't getting it. It was kind of a bummer. Now, at that time, she had a fall that year, earlier that summer. That's why she was here. And I think that, you know, maybe that she's having a little bit of trouble. She's doing great, though. I mean, it's been 4 years now, almost 4 years since the fall, and she's doing really well, but it's just, it was kind of a bit of a decline in some ways. Okay, that's good. Wow, only took a good hour to paint his face, the faces and the eyes. I did paint a little bit more stuff than that, but let's see how she looks. I would say that is probably enough. Let me see if there's some fluidness to this and all. You can't, the paints do not, they start to gel as they're curing, and it becomes a problem. So you just got to be cautious. But I wanted to wait a long time between I did 2 coats relatively on top of each other, but I generally wait a long time before doing the last one. And that looks pretty good. She looks like a chibi. Yeah, she's doing good. She's on her own. My dad passed away now 24 years ago. Not quite. Yeah, it'll be 24 years ago in a couple months, and she's been on her own since then, you know, and it's a worrisome thing. I call her every night now. We see her all the time. We have her come over on the weekends. We go over there sometimes. I mean, we always have things where, you know, she'll be here when we're filming, and sometimes. But she lost a friend recently, and I think that, you know, unfortunately, that's how it all goes, right? And I think that was a big deal. And it was not a great thing, you know. The lady had a stroke, and they would go visit her, and she was frustrated, you know, she couldn't communicate because she was a teacher, and so it was just terrible. I've known the lady for nearly 40 years myself, and it was a friend of my I think my dad might have been the one to meet her, and others. It was a part of a kind of an appreciation of modern architecture thing in here in LA, and they'd go visit homes. Actually, that's not true. I didn't know her 40 years. I knew her about 30-something years. Because Nikki went, I'd been pretty young. Nikki went with us to one of the homes that was a cool one. At least one house. So that was in the 90s. So probably 35 years. I guess that's close enough to 40 years. Anyway, there you go. That's cool. That looks good. So, cape. Should I do cape or should I do green or should I do gold? Now I have a lot of white. I could try doing some like aging on the stones here. You have a lot more control if you're pulling the bristles towards you when you're painting something like this. Oops, that was not good. You can, one of the things you can do, you can actually use a brush with more paint in it as well. That would help. Let me try to get this right, because I'm confident. I have a sponge normally that's damp next to me, and I didn't wet it before I got started today. So I'm not doing as great a job at removing the paint. It's funny, there's not enough paint on there. It's not working. It is not working on this brush. What is going on? Well, maybe because I'm brushing the paint off on my finger here is not really working. Better. That might be what was going on. Okay. Looks like bird droppings. I want it to be thin though. So this is where the transparent white might be good. It's not as intense as the standard white. So what I'm doing here is I basically soften the transitions on this where it's a little too heavy. You just use the little wet toothpick. And that's just because this paint is like, the pigment is very solid, so it does a pretty good job of tinting it where you go. So the edge of the brush where it stops is pretty bold. Sounds like it's windy out there. Which is, so we have solar panels and it has this thing called Storm Alert where it will turn on the, that's very heavy. It'll turn it on so that it tries to keep your battery at 100%. And which is cool, right? So if you lose your power, we just don't lose our power very often. It is happening, that's why we have solar now. One of the reasons is we're starting to have more incidents of power outages and stuff. And it's a little frustrating. But this has really helped. We have backup battery, obviously, if that's what's turning it on. And but it is definitely confusing. Like I was like, why is it turning on? And this was yesterday and it was not windy or anything. What was I doing there? So it's pretty thin. That one coat I just did was, it appears, one of the things about paints is they generally get less intense. I mean, white is challenging, but they get less intense as it dries. It's interesting. So I guess this is like, I don't know, it looks like water. I have to look. I don't know. He's like maybe controls earth and water or something. Cool. Now, of course, there's a little bit going on back here too. Sorry, out of focus here. It's definitely not the look that they have on here, but I'm actually enjoying doing this. I'm not commonly doing weathering kind of a thing. And I'm probably doing it a little too dry. Hearing lots of sirens. I feel like I'm actually doing better pulling it this way, so you know it's starting thin and getting wider as my brush moves. Got obsessed with this too soon, but it looks neat. It's fun, something different. Cool. Do some more maybe. Hold on, let me do a little bit over here. It's hard with the cape here to get in here and do this. Cool. I'm off for now. I'm off to Tyler. Thanks, Eric Rittenauer. What's the tickets for a farewell tour? Why is this? I'm not zoomed in. Command plus. There we go. Have you heard of Torval and Dean? I do not. The pigeons are around. It does look like pigeons. Torval and Dean, it sounds familiar. Well, I probably will wash this as well after with a little bit. Oof, that's pretty strong there. You put a little bit of white on that too. It's all the same. I don't love it. Does look like pigeons. Guano, it's bats. Torval and Dean. Let me look it up. Sounds familiar though. There we go. British Ice Dancer. Okay, cool. Fantastic. I'm not an Olympics guy too much, but Winter Olympics were my thing when I was young. Probably because I was in Colorado. Colorado. Yeah, this is the worst one. Of course, it's whatever I've chosen for myself. It's okay. A little bit of outlet is okay, I don't really mind. That's a little better. A little better. I feel like I got black on the eyebrow too. Use the Gore-Grunter fur. What time is it? Hey Rolo, interesting. The year they won the gold. They're definitely familiar sounding. That would have been like, I was older than that. I was at least a teen, not quite a teen or teen. But I did watch, as I say, Winter Olympics, and I enjoyed it. I have not, I mean, we had the Olympics here in '84. We're going to have it again in 2028. I don't know, maybe we'll go this time, because we were going to go to Japan, not during the Olympics, but in the time of the Olympics in 2020, but that, of course, all fell apart. And it's unfortunate, because it would have been, well, first of all, things were a little bit better globally for everything. But additionally, even though that was pandemic, it wouldn't have been good then. But they had tons of, you know, wayfinding and things like that in English already when I was there in '98. So it would have been phenomenal in 2020. And I know Nikki would have had a great time. We'll probably try to go at some point in time. But man, it's crazy. Everybody's kind of upset about, frustrated about things. So let's see here. What time is it? It is 1:24. Oh my gosh. I have to go. I got to eat. Wow. I took too long on those stones. I like it though. I will do a wash though. It'll reduce the intensity a little bit. They don't feel like they're white. I probably should have used the. I bet you though it would still be too. This bright neutral gray would have still been too white. But a little bit of a wash will bring that intensity down, and that'll look good. Well, let me cut to the camera since it seems to be working now. Thanks. Nope, that didn't do it. Is it going to work? Nope. There we go. Hooray. Okay. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for the chat. Hopefully you guys have a good week. It's only Tuesday. We will be streaming on Thursday evening, Nikki and I. And so I don't know what we're going to play. So, you know, we streamed last Thursday for board games. And in my head, I rejiggered it because I'm going to have Candace over a week from this Thursday to do a stream for a game that she just recently got that's delivering to Kickstarters. And I do not remember the name again. It's terrible. I'm eager to paint them though. She sent me all the minis, the pictures of the minis. They look great. But we're gonna do the full thing. We're not gonna do the whole game, but we're gonna prime minis. We're going to paint them on the stream. Her significant other is gonna be here, which should be fun. Let me see if she sent me the pictures in our personal chat. There it is. And it will tell me the name here in a minute. Guards of Atlantis 2. Minis look really cool. Let me see if I can zoom in on something here. She took pictures of the cards, so it's not ideal. Oh wait, sorry. Cut. Darn it. There we go. So you can see like what we're going to do. Looks awesome. Lots of organic textures. It should look pretty neato. I have not seen the minis yet, but I am excited to see them. So yeah, that'll be a week from Thursday. And I mean, that's going to be a long day because, I mean, I don't know exactly when Candace will get here, but the plan is to prime them. And we need to have them, you know, you have to let them dry for a while before you start painting on them. We'll stream on Thursday. But I was thinking today we had a board game. I'm like, Nikki, what are we doing tomorrow? She's like, it's a paint stream. I'm like, okay, thank goodness. We do not plan that far ahead. We're not the best about planning. But we are excited to, we're actually excited because tomorrow we played a game on the stream last Thursday, and we're going to film that tomorrow, which with 4, which should be fun. It'll be a longer game. We have played it once with 4, so it'll be fun. But anyway, you guys take care. Have a great week. Thanks literally for all the chat. I loved some good stuff here. I love talking about the Olympics as well because I mean, I got into curling then, right? I thought, wow, this is, I mean, it's crazy, but it's still awesome to see like the amount of effort to get those stones moving in a direction. It means I'm probably slightly Canadian, who knows. Anyway, everybody, you take care. Have a great week. Hopefully we'll see you on Thursday. If not, maybe next week. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. Thank you. Oh, wait, I'm gonna raid, am I not? Hold on, let me raid. I'm sorry. Getting carried away. I need to figure out these tabs. I've got so much stuff buried underneath each other here. Twitch. Okay, let's raid. Let's see. I'm sad we can't raid Pixels and because they were actually streaming something good. The Final Girl. Civilization. Here's playing board games is doing a little bit of designing and maybe testing on my custom campaign. So why don't we do that? Hold on. Oh wait, can I start the raid? No. How do you do that? I don't know what I'm doing here. Maybe the window's too low. Start raid, okay. Say hello for me, everybody. We're unable to raid. Oh my gosh. All that. Okay, well, we're gonna just end it because I don't know that we can get everything working here. So everybody, thanks again. Take care.